It is Wednesday, May 7th. It is day 108 of the Trump presidency, and let's talk about what happened today. There is no new pope yet. No new pope. The cardinals are still in the selection process. They may be arguing because there's two very distinct directions to go here. There's a couple options that are fairly liberal, relatively speaking, and a couple that most certainly are not. So I'm very curious to see what ends up happening and which side ends up winning. I feel like it's going to have a pretty big influence on what happens next with religion, with regard to religion, and maybe more. Who knows? I think obviously a lot of people, this means a lot to a lot of people, so we'll see what happens. Unfortunately, the conflict between India and Pakistan is severely escalating. I actually woke up at 3 a.m. My head kind of hurts right now. I woke up at 3 a.m. last night, worried about it. I can't lie. I think it just feels like there's so many... we have so many problems as a species right now. I feel like one of these things is bound to become a severe long-term issue for us. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. I just, obviously, no one over here is going to do anything about that. Definitely the United States is not going to help de-escalate at this point. And again, I'll say it again. People may hate the United States for many reasons that are valid. However, we were acting as the world's bouncer. And no other country has been willing to step into that role. And so there is a lot of speculation that what is happening right now is happening because there is no bouncer. So these are two nuclear countries. And maybe they're not worried about other countries getting involved right now because, frankly, probably we're not gonna get involved. And I don't know if that seems like a pretty bad thing to me, but I don't know. I guess time will tell if we're all gonna, be in our nuclear bunkers that we don't have or what's gonna happen. But essentially, Pakistan has authorized retaliation against India. India, sent missiles over. They killed 31 civilians, 57 also injured. And the defense minister for Pakistan said, prepare for war. So we're fucked, It's not good. It's really not good. Here in the United States, Trump has announced that he's going to begin deporting migrants to Libya, which is currently plagued by an armed conflict. So obviously it's not a place that people should be sent. And I believe that probably violates humanitarian code. Obviously this administration doesn't give a fuck about that. And who's going to do anything about it? Like a slap on the wrist just doesn't cut it anymore with any of these situations. So yeah, you can put someone on a list of war criminals, and I don't think these people give a shit about that at all. So good luck, The real ID requirements went into effect here in the United States, which means you have to have this special ID in order to fly. And I was looking it up because I was like, I just got a new driver's license sent to me in the mail. So I went over to look at it, and it explicitly says up at the top, like, this is not a real ID. So you have to, I think you just need a valid driver's license plus a birth certificate to go get your real ID. Don't quote me on that. Like, go look it up because it might vary state to state. And also, I very much skimmed it over because I have no idea where my birth certificate is. I went online and ordered another one. These people are idiots. I better have this. And honestly, I know I should have gone and gotten my passport renewed some time ago. I don't know where that is either. I actually had a lot of my documentation stolen by my ex-fiance. That's a very long story that I'm not going to tell you right now. So I have a long list of things like that I absolutely hate doing that I need to go do. I don't have any plans to go anywhere right now, but I'm going to have to probably travel for work. Anyways, I think it's a good idea to just have this stuff taken care of. Have your documents ready in case. It's just better than getting caught in a situation where I don't know. You know what I'm saying. I don't think I need to say it. Okay. Republicans are in a big fight over Trump's budget and his budget cuts. There is about, I don't know what the head count is, but some Republicans are adamantly saying absolutely no cuts to Medicaid. It's going to leave millions of people without health insurance. It's going to cause a crisis. Yes, thank you. And then a bunch of Republicans are saying, we don't give a shit. You need to have $2 trillion cut from this budget or we're going to tank it. We're not going to sign it. So I don't know what's going to happen. I honestly, it's not to say that I don't care. Obviously, I really very much care about people losing their health insurance. But there is this part of me that thinks maybe if that happened, it could swing us into universal health care. Maybe next time, midterms, if there is a next time. But you know what I'm saying? I feel like it could cause such an uprising that maybe it would cause that type of backlash. So whatever happens. This is all so far out of our hands. Honestly, there's nothing we can do about this. It's going to be whatever it's going to be. Trump is, quadrupling down, saying he is not going to lower tariffs against China, not even to get them to come to the table. They're still sitting currently at 145%. We are on a timeline here with a ticking clock where we've got people are estimating somewhere between 4 weeks and 6 weeks worth of supplies on the shelves of certain things, right? Like everything's not going to disappear, obviously. Some things will be here and they'll be more expensive. I don't know, it sounds like China's kind of playing hardball with us in a lot of ways. Like they're just not going to send stuff and they're not going to buy stuff from us anymore. And since Trump is being so disrespectful to Mark Carney, Canada's new PM, I don't know, maybe Canada will completely cut us off too or stop buying stuff from us. Like I don't know. He was an idiot yesterday when he talked to Mark Carney. He was saying things like, he said that we don't do any business with Canada. And then I don't even think he allowed Mark Carney to respond, but Canada is like the number one place where America exports stuff. So it's honestly kind of funny. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him to not even know that. And then, of course, he was talking about how good it would be for Canada to become a 51st state. And he was saying, I don't even know. He just is insane. And Mark Carney's face, there's a bunch of still shots of Mark Carney just making really funny, eye-rolling faces because it's obnoxious. He's obnoxious and so disrespectful. And so, it's just so, he's so embarrassing. That new Selena Gomez song just started playing in my head when I said that. And if you don't know it, you should go look it up. That's if you need some distraction, if you like celebrity gossip, go look into Selena Gomez and Benny, gosh darn it, what is his last name? Her new fiance and her ex, Justin Bieber. It's a bunch of craziness. But anyways, I actually couldn't care less about celebrities, but that storyline, it has been shoved down my FYP's throat on TikTok. And just in case you don't know what an FYP is, it's For You page. It's basically my TikTok algorithm. They were all over my TikTok algorithm for a couple of weeks. And I know way too much about that situation. Okay. This is really messed up. Memphis police officers have been found not guilty of the fatal beating of Tyree Nichols, who was killed after a traffic stop, and he died from blows to the head. I do feel like our country is reverting into a really dangerous space with racism right now. It is not good. It's not okay. That lady, did I tell you guys about this? Well, in case I didn't, there's a woman who referred to a 6-year-old autistic child at a park as the N-word. And it went viral. There's a video of her repeatedly saying it to the adult who is confronting her about it. And she has raised $700,000 about it. Then there's people going on, I don't know who this influencer or person was that went on Piers Morgan to talk about this. Openly says that she uses, this is not that same lady, it's some other lady who is advocating for that lady. Also blonde. I'm sorry, I don't mean to stereotype blondes. I'm not trying to, but I'm just pointing out they were both blonde. I think there is like that association because like according to Hitler, blonde people with blue eyes were superior. Anyways, she goes on Piers Morgan. She says that she uses the N-word all the time and that white people are being oppressed by not being allowed to say that. And Piers Morgan actually ripped her to shreds. I don't like Piers Morgan, okay? But I'm really proud of him for looking that lady dead in the eye and being like, you are a despicable human being and you are disgusting and you're openly admitting to being racist. And she's defending herself and saying like, yes, I am racist. It's a crazy, you should go watch the video. Unless you're trying to like protect your sanity, in which case I understand. Honestly, this stuff is all bad news. I'm sorry, this is so embarrassing as well. Denmark's foreign minister has had to summon a U.S. ambassador over there because they have a report stating that Washington's spy agencies have been spying on Greenland with the intention of focusing on Greenland's independence movement and also America's goals to extract the minerals there. So America's just like going around pickpocketing other countries, other free and independent countries. And it's, dude, it literally feels like I'm like trapped on a pirate ship with a bunch of idiots that are like fighting, like swashbuckling, and I'm just like hiding in a hole in the bow of the ship. I mean, I'm serious. It just feels like the world is very lawless right now, and it really concerns me. Okay. Yeah, the House Republicans are pushing to sell hundreds of thousands of acres of public land, make it available for private purchase, which means oil drilling, mining, violating our country. And, you know, there are Republicans that care about this, by the way. I mean, there's not enough of them to stop this, probably, because the money-grubbing sociopaths outnumber them. But there are Republicans that give a shit about our public national lands that are important to not only our wildlife, but also just, like, America as a country. This is a weird thing to say, but I feel like part of America's brand is that we have really beautiful natural spaces that are still untouched. Like, we have not turned every square inch into a parking lot just yet. And that's not something that we can undo if we do it. And the fact that these private companies have already, like, private equity is destroying this whole fucking country, and greed is literally should be like the number one sin. I don't even give a fuck about the sins, but I'm telling you right now, like, greed is the thing that is going to take us all down in the end, because it has run rampant here and it's destroying everything. I'm a little hesitant to tell you this story because it's kind of weird. It's not, I've heard it multiple times now from multiple different sources. And there are some articles talking about it, but I just don't, it's like coming from an anonymous source that worked in the Bush administration. This woman, wait, I don't think it is anonymous. Maybe you can look up her name. It's a woman. It must not be anonymous because I know that it's a woman. Okay. You go look this up and see what you think. There's a woman from the Bush administration claiming that, America, the United States, has spent trillions and trillions of dollars building underground cities underneath, like literally underground cities in the United States with high-speed rail, housing, like entire cities for the wealthy people to go and live in the event of like nuclear winter or some other disaster. Which means that they stole tax dollars to build this shit. Again, I've heard this many times. I've heard it many times over, and it was never coming from a verified source. She appears to be a verified source, but I don't know. I've heard a lot of people claim they've been there, so I don't know, man. If it's true, it would explain the fact that the Pentagon has never passed an audit, and that there is every single year billions and billions and billions of dollars missing from the budget, unaccounted for. And then there's people asking, okay, why are they doing this? Is there something that they know that we don't? I mean, that's a conspiracy theory, but I mean, I do think that climate change at this point may be, obviously it's inevitable that we're going to experience some severe weather, but I don't know, maybe they know more than we do. So that's not a very cheerful thought, and I'm sorry. But speaking of not cheerful thoughts, pro-Palestinian protesters were, you know, it doesn't sound like they've arrested anyone yet, but they were protesting with kind of a lot of, like, I don't think they were assaulting security guards, but they were like pushing their way physically past security guards into the library at Columbia. Columbia is in the middle of finals right now. Columbia University is saying that they're going to be expelled or possibly arrested. They took IDs from people that went there. It's super dangerous to be doing this right now, especially protesting for Palestine. I completely understand why people are willing to risk it, but I think a lot of those people are going to end up losing their degree, like losing the progress they made, which is, again, for some of those people, it may be a life or death situation. They may have family in Palestine, and I completely understand. It is the most inhumane thing, what is happening over there, and that no one's doing anything about it. Literally no one. And also the fact that, like, here in this country, they're now, again, they're making it punishable by 20 years in prison if you participate in financial protest against Israel. And obviously they're deporting people who are protesting against the war. So we live in an authoritarian country right now. You can't just say stuff. And anyways, yeah, I mean, again, I'm always like one step away. I found myself really grateful. There are 250 progressive creators on TikTok that are at some sort of like summit at a hotel right now. And I'm like, dude, I'm so glad that I only have like 135,000 followers, because I think it's probably, I'm sure I'm like not at the cutoff that you need to be at as far as like follower count to go to something like that. And honestly, I'm glad that I'm like nobody right now, because I can sit here and have these conversations with you. I highly doubt it's being like tracked or flagged by anyone. And I don't know how much longer we have that, you know, but I'm just like a tiny creator on YouTube. And even over on TikTok, like, yeah, they're watching every single thing we say, and they just released a new set of sort of like rules. They sent this notification to everyone who's in the paid creator program on TikTok, and they said, if you have any violations, we're just kicking you out. I very rarely do, but my friends do a whole lot. So a lot of people are probably going to lose their status, and I don't know if they're going to let them appeal. They might just be like searching for ways to cut ties with Americans anyway. But what I am saying is we are increasingly more and more censored every day, and I worry my ass off about people that are going to protest right now, period. Again, if you're doing it, you're brave. I love you for it. We need you. I'm also scared as fuck for you. It's just the reality. Very sad news that the Supreme Court has allowed the Trump administration to implement the transgender military ban. I'll be honest, I feel the exact same way about this that I do about people protesting. I think that right now, if anyone in the military knows that anyone else in the military is transgender, they're at risk of being literally murdered. I do not trust our LGBT community to be in a barracks with incels right now. And I think there's probably still more incels in the military than there are people in the LGBT community, no matter how many incredible LGBT high-ranking military officers we've had, because we've had a lot. People that are very valuable to our military, and it's our military's loss that this kind of shit is happening. At the same time, I really find myself wanting to bubble wrap all the minority communities right now and like shove them somewhere away from these people. Because these people are like and again, when I say these people, I mean white supremacists, Christian nationalists, incels. They're escalating right now. They're escalating, and I'm scared for everyone who isn't a part of those communities. They're dangerous people. They're very violent. At the same time, I know that there's people who have literally dedicated their entire lives to our military that are going to have that ripped away from them, and I can't imagine how that feels. None of this is okay. Nothing that's happening is okay. I think we all know that. Okay. As promised and anticipated, I was able to find 2 good news stories for you today. That is very rare, so please savor this, okay? Republican Orlando Commissioner Tony Ortiz has split from the Republican Party and become a Democrat. And he made this like long statement. It's definitely worth going to listen to or read, about what he thought the Republican Party was. It has completely strayed from those values. He said that Republicans used to be reasonable and care about family values and decorum and, financial conservative, being conservative with our money, and that essentially that this iteration of Republican Party has nothing to do with any of that. They've completely lost their way. I totally agree. And he said that the Democratic Party is a much closer fit to his values. And he also made a very specific statement, which I think it's really important that he did this in Florida, about the way that we're treating our immigrants. And he said, these people have literally helped build this country. They still are continuing to help build this country. And you are treating them like they're not human beings. So I'm really, really appreciative to this person. Again, especially people on their side that are willing to stick their necks out and push back against this. Like, honestly, whoever is saying, no, you can't just cut Medicaid and Medicare. Whoever is saying that in the Republican Party, I also really appreciate them. It means that there's a chance that that law won't pass and that millions of people won't potentially die. Because that's literally what's on the table there. Okay, this last story is a special treat because it's nothing to do with politics. It's totally out of left field, but this story is really silly and crazy, and the implications are wild. So, a miniature dachshund was just reunited with her owner after being lost for 18 months on an Australian island. Okay, 529 days alone. And this dog was a puppy. 529 days, and it's not quite 3 years old. She's not quite 3 years old yet. So you do the math. She was like a baby. She was a young puppy when she was lost. When they lost her, she was only 9 pounds. Now she weighs 15. So she literally grew up on this island. And I think the implications of that are really funny. That means she was just like running around this island by herself, doing Lord knows what, eating. They think she was eating roadkill, maybe. And they said something about like maybe she was eating animal poop, which if I think about small dogs, is probably true. But how much I would think that would upset her stomach more than it would help her. But she's alive, and she gained 6 pounds, which is literally almost half her body weight, and that is absolutely incredible. And her owner said, just to add a little extra sprinkle of good news, her owner said that she was ecstatic, that the dog was ecstatic to see the owner when she saw her, ran up to her, cried, like did all the wiggles and everything. So she still remembers her. She's happy to be home. Probably feels a little bit weird though, I would think, to be like just an independent dog on an island eating whatever, hunting. I'm assuming, it's Australia. So imagine what she had to like protect herself from. That's crazy. I can't believe she's alive. I'm so sorry. Again, I did not sleep very much last night. I was awake thinking about nuclear war. Okay, you guys. Also, I hope you've noticed and enjoyed that I was able to put a thumbnail. Finally, I'm very slowly starting to do the things I'm supposed to do here. I have so much research to do about how to grow my YouTube and all that stuff, but it's too much work. I'll get to it eventually. All right, everybody. Enjoy your evening. I hope I'll see you tomorrow, unless we're all dead.